be a danger to the state, as in be a danger, physical harm or something, to be harassed, and then you just don't know enough. And a lot of those people are afraid to talk about it because they know that talking about it will have like serious consequences if they do that.
I mean, what I'd like to do, because I said before, I have to confess now to people listening to this. Hopefully, there's more than a few people listening. I've got a prior appointment with a soccer match that I haven't seen the results to. That I've got taped that I really want to see, the Portland Timbers. So I'm going to be, we're quite pushed on time. But if I could just finish this topic before we move on to a little bit of software, if that's okay with you, Roy. I would like just to mention this. In regards to all the allegations of information snooping and people's privacy exploited, I'm going to say something quite controversial, which everybody's going to probably say when they hear this. The public love it, and that's what they want. And I'll tell you why. People complain very quickly that their privacy was intruded upon with all this data that's been collected and all these webcams that have been viewed, etc., etc. But then you look at what's on the news at the moment. Currently, we have the Pistorius trial running on, and that's exposing the private life of a gentleman who hasn't been found guilty or innocent yet, who's undergoing due process about a tragic killing, and obviously trying to get to the truth about what occurred and to deliver a verdict, either guilty or not guilty. Now, that's been put on public television, and his private life and the deceased's private life are being publicly exposed to worldwide TV. It's being run on Sky News, and I think a few other news services are running it.
No, they're not news services.
Sorry? Well, yeah.
You can go into
yeah.
Okay. Because remember, those people have a lot of control over the press.
Yeah.
And also, the important point, remember who controls those CCTV footages. I mean, you and I don't have access to them.
But regardless of who's putting this on the television, people are lapping it up, and the general public are loving every minute of it. They're interested in the private lives of people. They want to know what these celebrities have been up to. This is not just the Pistorius trial. There's other celebrities. We wouldn't have tabloids in this country if there wasn't a market for the public's desire to know all the gory details about people's private lives. And it's a sad indictment of today's society where.
Wait. These people are products.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them any less. Yeah, that doesn't make them any less of a person in terms of their private life. For example,
but you could have a society very different to football players. But if you idolize football players, if you idolize people or politicians, if you idolize a lot of those people, people will respond to it. And there is a big industry called public relations, and they know how to do it. They know how to control people by brands, by names. They'll buy perfume based on names. They'll buy things based on perceptions that they have and feelings that they have. They'll smoke because they saw some advertisement says women are strong when they smoke. This is how things work. So remember, these people their desires are a product of a process of indoctrination that starts quite early.
But then again, like I say, if I was the bearded, overweight version of Justin Bieber and I was selling hit singles, just because I'm in the public eye and just because obviously I'm relying on the public to give me an income, does that make me any less of a person and not protected by the privacy laws that the general public expect themselves to be protected by? I would have my as a celebrity. Now, fair enough. I know you're going to say that the celebrities live off the fact that they promote themselves to the public and they'll show.
But they don't promote them. They have agents, and agents use them as products. So But
that doesn't make them any less of people in terms of their privacy. So, like when my me being the bearded, overweight Justin Bieber sort of spends, I don't know, £25,000 on a new pair of shoes, and they want to put an article in the paper about it being a hideous waste of money, is it right that just because I'm a celebrity, or that my privacy should be any less worth than John Smith, who lives down the road, who just goes to work every day in his houses?
But wait, this violation of privacy is not done by the public sector. It's done by the private sector, by people like paparazzi and people who are surveillance. So that's a different thing.
But with the paparazzi, there has to be a market in order to fund it.
Yeah, and that's a privatized thing. Yeah. I don't think they do anything illegal. I might hate what they do, but I don't think it's illegal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is why about the British public, and all publics, I would expect in every country, are the same with their desire to absorb all this private information. When you see the likes of GCHQ intruding on people, It's
Yeah,
still
it's
an
different.
invasion. I
This
know
is
it's. I know
mass.
it's for
Okay,
different. Yeah,
no,
I know
this
it's
is
for
mass
different reasons.
surveillance. You
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
compare this
No, but it's still
yeah,
no. But if you
yeah.
look at it, its raw value of being an intrusion of privacy, because say your webcam was being watched by GCHQ. As far as you're concerned, you're not interested in everybody else that's being watched. You're concerned about your intrusion of privacy first and foremost.
Actually, I do
Just
concern.
well,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
concerned.
Okay, well,
Okay,
you know
okay,
the ethos of what
yeah.
I'm saying. The first and foremost thing is that your privacy, and the most important thing is your privacy has been intruded upon, however they've done it. And
Remember, you're being photographed, you're being surveilled, your phone being a tracking device, your payments going through SWIFT to the United States, which is a different country. That's not going to be used to defend you. In fact, that's always going to be used against you, if ever, because you have no access to CCTV. When my bicycle was stolen last year, for instance, I don't get to see the footage. They tell me what they see on the footage. When um, a relative of mine was a victim of a major scam, very classic scam, and then I joked, not joked, I was actually very serious, speaking to the cops on her behalf because she was very emotional, and asked, "Why don't you ask GCHQ for the data?" And he says to me, "No, we cannot use it in this case." In other words, the British police is happy to use this data when it comes to protecting banks and rich people, and I don't know what interests they put as priority. However, when they can use the data for something useful, and this is very important, they won't use it. They
because
just won't use it because it's all about nepotism. With
yeah,
not with all of them, but a lot of the time. So they don't use it for positive purposes that could, that they
but
could actually use this data.
the caveat here to all of this, and this goes back to the very beginning of this conversation where I propose that no matter what people campaign about, no matter how many petitions there are, things won't change because there's one catch clause for all of this which protects the people that are in power and have access to these sorts of facilities to do monitoring, and that's one phrase, and it's in the interest of national security. Now that catch-all can justify just about everything, used in conjunction with the T word, and they can just about pass anything they want, regardless of any laws that come out about privacy and things. And like I said before, when you look at the GCHQ case, that was snooping by proxy. So whatever laws we had in this country, even if we had the strictest laws on privacy, and that no government body could ever intrude on an individual's private life, it still wouldn't have made any difference because we did it by proxy. We shared information with another country
This
doing it
is
on our behalf.
I wrote about it. In Yorkshire, do you know the hill in Yorkshire where they've been doing surveillance like this for even longer than GCHQ? And I've known about it for a while because a CIA veteran professor, what's his name? He's deceased now, but his name was Chalmers Johnson. He spoke about it for years. How in Yorkshire there's basically this outpost of working for the NSA and intercepting all the emails coming out of Europe and beyond. So I've known about it. I've written about it even before the NSA leaks came out, years before. And this has been taken for granted. Like, if you don't encrypt the data, your emails, and if you think that they would have reasons to put you as a person of interest, they will read your emails. Like, literally, some of them will read your emails and trying to see what you say to your family. And that would induce self censorship. Not because of doing something wrong, but because they don't want to, dig into my entire private life. And what basically you have to bear in mind is that, as you said it, the public wants surveillance. I don't think anybody wants surveillance,
No,
not even for the neighbors. So I think it's a very catchy thing to say. It's like a kind of a man bites dog type of soundbite, and it will get your attention, but it's not actually true. The public doesn't want surveillance. Do you know who likes surveillance and who defends the NSA publicly? Bill Gates, for instance. Of course he does. What does he
I've
care? Does he mind being surveilled on? He knows he's idolized. He's in power. His friends are in power. He's friends with Obama. He's friends with all those people on top. They're defending each other
my
against
opinion.
us. We're the enemy.
You see, my opinion about the public's perception of CCTV on the whole. I'm not talking here now about intrusive CCTV, but I think that my opinion is the public thinks it wants CCTV, which is very different to wanting CCTV. The CCTV has been built up a sort of legend in its own time of being the ultimate deterrent for criminals. And like I said earlier on, we can, nobody can ever produce stats for things that have been prevented as a result of CCTV being present. Burglar that went out, saw a camera, thought, no, I'm not going to burgle a house today. That can never be measured. It can never be put into a chart. And so the public will accept